Call to order at 6 o'clock. Oh. Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. We're calling to order at 6 o'clock. And then we start with roll call. I believe Linda is coming up and Harris went to go let her in. So, but here we go.
Salasa, absent. Char, Eberhard, Silva, absent. Nakamoto,
Oh, yeah, he went to go let in.
okay. Steelquist, Mitchell,
Here.
Lee,
Here.
Chan,
Here.
Hawano,
Here.
Peters, Witham,
Present.
Kirchman,
Here.
and Gallant, Dela Cruz. Okay, you have 11 members present. Quorum's met.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And first up, we have Honolulu Fire Department.
You're on a call.
Oh, they're on a call. Okay, so then we'll go on to Honolulu Police Department.
Good evening, Chair, board members, and neighborhood. I'm Sergeant Wakabayashi. This is Lieutenant Nogawa. We're in charge of District 1 Second Watch. We're just going to give you some rundown of the stats regarding this month compared to the last months. For motor vehicle thefts, we have 10 this month compared to 9. Burglaries was from 8 compared to 6. Thefts was 26 compared to 44. UMVs has stayed the same at 7 the previous month. Assaults from 9 compared to 11. Sex assault cases is 0 this month compared to 3 the previous month. Graffiti is 0 according to our stats, stayed the same as 0. Drug cases are 3 compared to 4. Motor vehicle collisions are 83, up from 79. Yeah. And as regarding one of the requests from the previous meetings, MVCs regarding Nulililo and Ward, there were 16 since July 1st, 2024 until now.
Yeah, but what is it? NBC? What's that?
Motor vehicle collision.
Okay, so he asked what a MVC is and motor vehicle collision.
Motor vehicle collision. I think one of the board members wanted to know the stats, so it was 16 in that particular area, Ward and Lulililo. So that's actually pretty high. Yeah. That's it. Anybody else?
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions from board members? I believe I see Chuck.
Oh yeah. First of all, Sergeant and Lieutenant, thank you so much for all the work that you guys do in our district. I know you guys shorthanded too, but I noticed good improvement in a lot of stuff. But the question I got tonight is regarding how you handle a sweep of the houseless people that we have. How does the city DFM handle that? If you could just briefly just go over it.
Okay, so the city, we HPD and the city DFM, we work together. So when their schedule's open and our schedule's open, we work together, and then they put the notice out to the public of what areas they're focusing on, and then they go through and address the areas that are listed.
Is there a particular procedure you follow as far as how when you move them out and how you handle their possession?
We always offer them services, and whether it's housing, any type of medical services, anything like that, we offer that first, and then we try to work with them on getting some type of housing if they're interested. Not all people are interested, but we try our best.
Are there any further questions from board members? Adam. And then I'll recognize Arthur after.
How often do they accept services? And when they do accept services, what are those services that they accept usually?
There's all different types of services they can accept. They can accept services from IHS, from our HONO program. They sometimes accept services from the mental health services. It just depends on their needs.
Right, but what do they primarily, in your experience, do they accept? like services, when you say, hey, we've got this and this and this
A lot of them want housing, so they'll go to
housing.
Yeah. The whole new service. So right now it's at Stadium Park.
Okay. I thank you.
Okay, Arthur?
I had two residents approach me within the last week regarding homelessness, specifically on Young and Victoria Street, right across from the pavilion there. There's a van that's constantly parked in a parking stall, never feeding the meter, but they're complaining that they spread out over the sidewalk, so people have to walk in the street to get around them. Can we have some, their request to me
Okay,
was,
we'll
can we have
make
someone?
checks, but we'll make checks and we'll have our officers make checks. But definitely if they see this issue of blocking the sidewalks and making it dangerous for the public, then call 911 so we can
Okay.
address it immediately.
That's what I told them.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring it to your
Yeah, yeah.
attention.
Thank you. We'll check.
Okay, any further questions from board members? Seeing none, are there any questions from attendees? Okay, if you could speak into the mic, please.
Just go.
Yeah, not this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're still having problems with 1427 Ernest. We have a chronic parker, illegal parker is it's a black Nissan truck. License number WYN 534. We've called on him many times. The cops come in there, they look, and they drive off. I think he's only got 2 tickets there ever since we started this. But I wanna know what we can do about that. We keep calling and nothing gets done. So that's my question.
So just to let you folks know, the 2 tickets has been issued. We actually want to thank someone that actually helped us with the AV cars. Yeah, so we did mark the cars abandoned vehicle, and the cars actually were removed, including the boat that was on Luna Little Street. So we'll go back. I'll let them know to reissue the abandoned vehicle, put it on the logs, and then hopefully they can remove it in a quickly manner also. Yeah, but let me just double check. It's WYN 534. It's a black Nissan truck. Yeah, and they're parking by 1427 Ernest Street.
So he's saying across the street on the wheelchair ramp.
Yeah, I'll make sure we address that.
Adam?
Yeah, we have had a lot of situations with vehicles that have been parked in the same place for many, many months. Specifically on I know of on Davenport, where there's some vehicles who have grass growing up underneath them. I know you guys are stretched thin, and I use the 311 app, which I know diverts the job to the people that would be better suited for that, that need. But what is the situation with parking, and what can we do better to help you to alleviate that issue?
Well, it's a good question, actually. So same thing like before, just call us like we normally do. I know it doesn't seem like we're actually doing it, but we're actually marking the tires. We got to allow them 24 hours to move it, at least move from the actual yellow mark that we park on the vehicles. But if you're saying that it's growing trees or bushes like that, then yeah, that's something we got to address and mark it for AV as well. So yeah, it's a big high fine, actually. It's like $160, correct? Yeah. We'll put them on the log. But like I said, the board members really help us a lot by pushing really hard on the representatives also to really assist us, by removing the cars in a timely manner. Yeah. I think one time was over a month, I think.
Harris?
Yeah, Adam, some of the things that we found that works is in this case, if we identify if it's a city street or state street, but say it's a city street, then we will work with our representative. In this case, say in our area, we Scott Nishimoto, they would put in a request for like a maintenance, like tree trimming or whatever. And then there'll be a no parking. So at that time, all of the vehicles need to move. And so those vehicles that have been there for a while that don't move, then they need to, then they'll take those vehicles away.
Okay, Adam.
Yeah, the issue with Davenport is that I've been told, because I'm the resident manager of a condominium there on Davenport, I've been told by the police department that street is a private, or not police, but by the city, that street is a private street. And so, for example, when I need a sign fixed, it's my responsibility. When I need a sidewalk fixed, it's my responsibility. But when I need a car towed, or I need some other issues like that, it's all of a sudden, or there's somebody on the sidewalk that's trespassing, it's all of a sudden a private residence, private street. So it basically comes down to me as my responsibility to fix signs and other issues, because it goes back and forth between the city and the police department. My blueprints for my building says that we actually own everything to the curb. So we do actually own the sidewalk. So I'm willing to take care of the signs and everything like that. But the streets, on the other hand, if it's a private street, that just needs to be clarified, whether it's a private street or it's public city property.
And just to let you know, city signs, they're actually a sticker on the back of the signs. That's how you guys can dictate if it's city or state. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. But it's a vicious cycle. So yeah, we'll cross that bridge. Sorry.
Well, I get it. Bureaucracy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully our city council person can address some of that in a hot second. Are there any other questions from board members? Are there any questions from attendees? Okay, June.
Sorry, 1512.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Sorry. Oh no, she's, if you don't mind, Adam, passing her the mic. Thank you so much.
Any update on 1525 Liho Street?
Sorry. Okay, just to let you know, it's abandoned. It's an open lot that was just recently sold. If I'm correct, I don't have my phone because it's broken actually, but a new realtor actually purchased that land. So, and the person that was handling it before, they didn't retain him, Henry. So the problem was, because Henry wasn't retained, he's no longer taking care of the trespassers or signs or the upkeep of that property. So I guess when I go back, I'll find out what they're doing with that property. I know they sold it recently, and they were going to change it. I think if I'm correct, they're going to use something like Bill 7, I think, to build another affordable housing, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me. Yeah, but I'm just saying, I know they sold it to another realtor, so I have to get back on that.
Okay, I see Claire online. And then after Claire, we'll move on back or double back to fire department.
All set. Thank you, Chair. This can be answered by either HPD or the board, but regarding circling back to that intersection at Ward and Lunalilo and 16 MVCs since July, which you said is a high number, what are next steps? Whose radar does that need to go on for mitigation and to improve the safety? I go through that intersection several times a day. I'd like it safer. Thank you.
That we need to work with actually DOT, Department of Transportation. They have to do an assessment, if I'm correct, and then they're gonna reevaluate that area if they have to put up more signs, speed bumps. That's really out of our way above our pay grade. Sorry. We can relay the message, and hopefully the representatives can actually help us out on this one. But that's all.
Yeah, let's get it on someone's radar. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Is it quick? Okay.
Sergeant, do you guys ever ask, when you go to the accident, do you get any information on any reason why they may have not seen the car? Because I brought it up in a previous meeting and I talked to some other officers before. There's a another set of lights above it. So a lot of times people are looking at that light and they're missing the one that they're supposed to be stopping at. So I'm just curious. Thank you.
That I'm not really sure. I don't want to answer. I don't want to answer if I don't really know. Let me do some research also. I will make sure that whoever comes to the next meeting actually follows up. But we do ask everyone that's normally involved in the accident what happened, what transpired, because we got to be unbiased, yeah. So we just kind of figure out what happened and then we'll determine the classification for that particular motor vehicle collision. But we'll get back to you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Sergeant, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
And since we have fire here, we'll go ahead and Honolulu Fire Department.
Good evening, Neighborhood Board. I'm Captain Go with the HFD. We'll have firefighter Hano Hano Hong reading our monthly statistics.
Right, so statistics for the month of August 2025. We had 2 structure fires in the Makiki area, 129 medical incidents, and 8 motor vehicle crashes and collisions. Fire safety tip for the month of September, right? It's going to be charging into fire safety. It has to do with lithium-ion batteries in your home. So this year, the National Fire Protection Association's Fire Prevention Week campaign works to educate everyone about using these batteries safely. Lithium-ion batteries store a lot of energy in a small place. These batteries can overheat, start a fire, or explode if they overcharge or are damaged. By learning how to buy, charge, and recycle these batteries safely, you can help prevent a fire in your home. So they list 4 points. Buy only listed products. When buying a product that uses a lithium-ion battery, look for a safety certification mark such as UL, ETL, or CSA. This means it meets important safety standards. Charge devices safely. Always use the cords that came with the product to charge. Follow the instructions from the manufacturer. Buy new chargers from the manufacturer or one that the manufacturer has approved. Charge your device on a hard surface. Don't overcharge your device. Unplug it or remove the battery when it's fully charged. Recycle batteries responsibly. Don't throw lithium-ion batteries in the trash or regular recycling bins because they could start a fire. Recycle your device or battery at a safe battery recycling location. You can visit calltorecycle.org to find a recycling spot near you. And last point here, the HFD is hosting a Fire Prevention Family Day event on October 4th, 2025 at the Honolulu Zoo from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We encourage everyone to come down to bring their families to participate in activities and meet our fire and life safety partners. That's it.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from board members? So starting with Richard, and then I'll go with Robert. So Richard.
Thank you for being here. Now, you said there were 2 structure fires. Can you tell us a little bit more? What were the addresses? Were there homes or an abandoned property?
Off the top of my head, I do not know exactly the addresses or how serious or the structure fires were, but I can get that information for you and read it to you on our next neighborhood board meeting.
And also, how do you folks deal with those lithium ion batteries? They're very hard to put out. That's my understanding.
Yeah. I mean, first we try the traditional way of putting water on it. That generally works. There are the batteries that we have concern with are the larger batteries with like electrical cars. Those are much harder to put out, and we do have procedures in place for those as well. It takes a little more than just water.
And do you folks have something besides water when you come up across?
Yeah, we have various methods we can use. We're trying out these new fire blankets. We have these large containers that we can put them inside. But yeah, it's one of those sort of new types of fires that we're dealing with, and we're learning about it as we go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and then I saw Robert.
Is that why Pasha will not ship electric vehicles anymore because of the batteries, the lithium batteries? I heard that they're stopping that.
Yeah, I'm not aware of Pasha's.
I heard that or read it or something, but it is a safe way of handling the situation.
I mean, it's a definite concern because if those things do catch fire during transport, they're extremely difficult to put out and could cause a lot of damage. So, I mean, that may be a reason why they're not. Yeah.
Arthur?
In the past, you put out directives to condominiums that if they have Christmas lights and Christmas trees, that there has to be someone available to make sure there's no fire started from the Christmas trees. Now, a lot of condos now have portable bikes powered by lithium batteries. Are you going to put the directives and maybe a pamphlet out that can be used in the condominiums so that anyone carrying that lithium bike on charging it in the condo apartment will be aware of what they should be looking for, how they should charge it, etc., as pointed out by your assistant?
As of now, I don't know if it's reached the level of fire code or legislation on our side, but I believe on the condominium level, case by case, there may be some association rules that can address that.
Fire department.
Right. Right now, there's none that I know of, but I can look into that more, and if I find something more specific, I'll get back to you on that on the next neighborhood board meeting.
Adam?
Yeah, maybe on piggybacking on that also is there's a higher demand. You know, I work as a resident manager. There's a higher demand for charging stations for scooters and motor vehicles, electric vehicles. A lot of our residents are asking for these things. Are there guidelines or is there resources that we can utilize to kind of, have a list of concerns that we can bring up when installing these things or
Sure.
creating these resources for people who want to charge their scooters or vehicles?
Sure. I mean, a lot of this technology is relatively recent, so developing procedures and guidelines for these things are still in the works. I would say, from our experience, just try to, if you're going to charge it, plug it directly into a wall outlet, not like in a series of extension cords or power surge protectors. Directly into a wall outlet and don't leave it unattended. Don't just like plug it in and leave for the whole day. And it's we don't have any set guidelines for these electric vehicles yet, but they are a concern for sure.
Okay. Are there any questions from attendees? Then I'll recognize Claire after.
My name is Richard Chang. I have two questions. I guess there's two incidents that I was driving by up on Nehoa and Makiki Street. In the bridge, the opening, I saw the city haul out a whole bunch of trash, and then I saw a fire department go down. I don't know, were there any bodies down there? Is that why they sent those guys down there? Oh, okay.
If you could talk into the mic, please, Captain. Thank you so much.
That might have been one of the fires that we responded to this month. Yeah, in that particular water canal, there was a fire a couple weeks ago during the nighttime. I guess there's a homeless encampment down there, and there's a lot of furniture and belongings, and it caught on fire, and yeah, we put it out, and I think that you're saying the city came and hauled out the trash. Okay, yeah, it's from what we understand, and from the looks of it, what was burning, it looks like some people are living there.
Of all the calls, how many of them were drug related? All of, yeah.
I think HPD might be, maybe able to answer that better than we are. We're more concerned with the medical side of things and not so much the legality of it. And, you know, there are a number of drug related calls. As far as the ones we go to, there would be like drug overdoses. I don't have the exact number of that, but I can definitely bring that statistic to you next neighborhood board meeting.
Claire?
Thank you, Chair. Circling back to the charging of lithium-ion batteries in the home, in the condo, Hawaiian Electric does have a lot of information, so contact them for more information on safety and how to set up charging stations. They keep on top of the rules and laws. And as just a common sense add-on, as a firefighter's wife, don't charge your batteries at your condo entrance door, because if one of them explodes or catches fire, you can't get out. So charge things away from your point of entry and exit. That's all. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Claire. Are there, with no more questions, thank you very much,
Thank
Captain.
you. Thank you.
Next up, we have filling one vacant at-large seat. And I believe we have a candidate.
Hi, my name's Amanda Kirby. I've been a resident of Makiki for 5 years now. I'm a renter. I live over near Roosevelt and Punchbowl. I work in Makiki as well in social services. I'm also the vice president at Makiki Community Garden, as well as the garden council for the entire program. I like helping people. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay. Did anyone have any questions for her? Seeing none, I guess I will nominate Amanda Kirby for the filling the one vacant at-large seat. Second. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll go into roll call.
If you could say Kirby, if you'd like to nominate and appoint her to fill the vacant at-large seat. Salasa. Absent. Char. Kirby. Eberhard. Silva.
Kirby.
Nakamoto. Steelquist. Mitchell.
Kirby.
Mitchell. Kirby. Lee. Chan.
Kirby.
Kawano.
Kirby.
Peters. Witham.
Kirby.
Kirchman. Dela Cruz. Gallant. Depico Swane. Absent. Okay. Chair Amanda Kirby has been appointed to fill the vacant at-large seat.
Okay, and we'll go ahead and enter recess.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, and I'll bring us back in from recess. Okay, city reports, starting with Board of Water Supply, Michelle Harmon.
Aloha mai kako, Michelle Harmon with Board of Water Supply. I just have our general water announcement for you tonight. And we'd like to invite everybody to Windward Mall on Saturday for our annual Imagine a Day Without Water event. It's going to start with a recycling drive at 8 a.m. in the parking lot next to Leonard's Malasadas. And then we're going to have, starting at 10 a.m. in the center court, we're going to have over 20 agencies. There'll be keiki events, giveaways, including a rain barrel giveaway, and lots of different interactive activities. So please join us on Saturday, Windward Mall, starting at 8 and 10 a.m. all the way till 2 p.m. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any questions from board members?
With events like these, can can they be added to our email, like send outs, so that we can be possibly added to our calendar, personal calendars, reminders, et cetera?
I guess, yeah, if you, well, for this one at least, if you can go ahead and email me or email Curtis and he can blast it out to everybody. And then, yeah, I guess if there's any events in the future, if you don't mind letting us know.
Sure.
I'm sorry to be difficult. It just makes it easier if everything's just kind of streamlined.
Yeah, for sure. And then I also do some Instagram posts. So we're also on Instagram and Facebook at BWS Honolulu. But I'll definitely get those events emailed to you as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, Richard.
This is not in our district, but somebody was approached me about an unofficial university effort, desalination water tanks in the Waianae in that area over there, the Leeward area. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I can have a response for you next month though.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, thank you very much, Michelle.
Mahalo.
Okay, next up, we have Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Megan Johnson. I believe she gave us a fairly comprehensive report, and hopefully, I forgot, is she here tonight? Okay, yeah, here, we'll have Curtis quickly cover some of the highlights.
Okay, so the mayor's newsletter can be accessed at www.8.honolulu.gov/mayor/newsletter. Everyone here got a pamphlet about the Honolulu Charter Commission conducting its once a decade review of the Honolulu City Charter, serving as our city's constitution. Community members are invited to submit proposals by November 7th, 2025. And the commission will be holding community meetings in October. Visit the Charter Commission website at honolulucitycouncil.org/charter-commission for more information. Also, the flyer is in the board's Google Drive folder. Following up on the motor vehicle collision incidents and statistics, a request was made for the accident history since January 2020 for the 5-way intersection at Iolani Avenue, Prospect, and Alapai Streets, at the intersection at Ward Avenue and Lunalilo Street. From January 1st, 2022 to August 25th, 2025, there were 5 motor vehicle collisions at the 5-way intersection. And from August 24th, 2024 to August 25, 2025, there were 13 motor vehicle collisions at Ward Avenue and Lunalilo Street. The statistics were collected from the area surrounding the requested locations. Collecting data for the exact locations is difficult since motor vehicle collisions are recorded based on the 2 nearest roads or streets to the incident. And regarding traffic safety on Makiki Street, from August 26th to September 8th, 2025, District 1 Central Honolulu officers conducted parking enforcement in the area of Makiki Street and Heulu Street. During the checks, officers cited 3 vehicles for parking out of stall. No other violations were observed during the checks, and officers will continue to make checks and take appropriate enforcement action when violations occur. In regards to DTS's response, the Department of Transportation Services will be conducting an investigation requiring research, site inspections, and an analysis of the area's traffic collision history. DTS will inform you of the results of the investigation by April 2026. Thank you for your patience and understanding. In regards to a request to add a second right turn optional lane on Kinao Street and Pensacola Street, the Department of Transportation Services will be conducting an investigation and will inform you of the results by April 2026. Regarding a crosswalk and roadway restriping, a request was made to DTS in April 2025 to restripe the faded crosswalk and roadway markings at several intersections on Wilder Avenue. DTS will be conducting an investigation and will inform you of the results by April 2026, but as you may have driven by, some of the crosswalks have been repainted. And Honolulu Complete Streets, in regards to that request about DTS staff presenting solutions, working with the Makiki Neighborhood Board to address traffic safety concerns in the neighborhood, especially at the following two intersections, the five-way intersection at Iolani Prospect and Alapai, and the second intersection at Ward Avenue and Lunalilo Street. DTS converted the intersection of Iolani Prospect and Alapai into an all-way stop in January 2024. Since that time, DTS records show there have been no major collisions or incidents at this location, indicating that the change has improved safety and operations. With respect to the intersection of Ward Avenue and Lunalilo Street, please note that this location falls under the jurisdiction of the state Hawaii Department of Transportation and should be referred to them for further action and review.
Okay, thank you very much, Curtis. In lieu of Megan Johnson being here, I guess if you have any questions for the mayor, excuse me, we'll just have Curtis collect those. Starting with Adam.
Yeah, just for the record, I wanted to ask, Mr. Char, do you have a record of how long it has been since this board has been asking about the intersection and what we are going to be doing about that intersection to the mayor?
The five-way?
Yes, and the 14 accidents in that.
I'll have to go. Actually, Claire is here. Do you remember how long ago Claire started? Claire?
Oh, it's been a few years. I started, someone started before me in the 1990s, but I've been addressing that intersection for over a decade. And since the fatal collision 2 years ago, we've been trying to have it remedied. The five-way stop is not working. That's gaslighting, saying no major accidents. It was never about the number of accidents. It's about the overall lack of safety at the intersection where no one's stopping. And I did sit out there for 30 minutes with HPD monitoring, and no one stops at that intersection. So we still need to address this acutely and not allow for gaslighting, saying since it's not major accidents, it's safe now. That simply is not true for pedestrians or for vehicles. So we still need to stay on it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Claire.
So it's safe to say that the investigation's continuing is doing nothing to service the public.
I got
I'm
yelled
sorry,
at by, I'm sorry, Chair.
Yeah. I'm sorry, could you repeat
Thing
that?
so it's safe to say that the further investigations of these intersections is doing nothing to service the public on these intersections.
Right. So that's why we it's actually on the agenda for next week's special meeting.
Okay. That's progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert.
I just didn't get the number of accidents he read at Lunalilo and Ward.
Oh, it's on the paper. If you happen to have it.
I'm sorry.
I know the police actually reported earlier there are 16 accidents, so I'm not sure the discrepancy, but oh, it's from July. I see. Okay. That's 3 in a single month. Okay. That's decidedly bad. Okay. Okay. Are there any yes, Chuck.
Yes, this is in regards to Pence Metro, the complex down on the corner of Pensacola and Lunalilo, the 29 unit. Okay, recently there've been an influx of homeless people coming there, and the building has not been occupied by a single occupant yet. even though it was published in the news that it would be opening like 4 or 5 months ago. So there's numerous complaints from residents around there because the homeless are starting to come. And the problem is, it's like the broken window theory, right? They start seeing that nothing's done, and they, the word gets around in the homeless community, and they're starting to come. But the problem is, if there's nobody there, nobody can be trespassed because the owner or the property manager, whoever it is not there. And then the second problem I have is also, I've been trying to get in touch with the property management or the engineer guys that are taking care of the building. So the number I was given is disconnected. I've called DCC and I've called other places, and no one seems to know how to get in touch with anybody. So I'd like to know if the mayor's rep could help us with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Are there any further questions? Seeing none, if anyone happens to get any more questions, be sure to take those questions to Megan outside the board meeting. Okay, next up we have Councilmember Scott Nishimoto.
Here, Keith Williams here, Councilmember Nishimoto's office. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, first time I'm using this computer. It's new. Okay, so I guess the major update that we have for you guys is the fencing at the district park, at Makiki District Park, for the community gardens. There was some question as to whether or not DPR was going to be able to get to it this year, but having Councilmember Nishimoto had a couple of conversations with Managing Director's office, and we did get a letter on the 15th that released the funding for the fencing at the community garden. So good news there. And that's all of our updates at this time. Happy to take any questions you have back to Councilmember. Thanks.
Chuck, you don't mind asking the council member or Heath about Pence Metro?
Oh, okay. Yes. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Pence Metro. It's affordable housing on the corner of Luna Lino and Pensacola. We've been having a lot of problems with no one's, number one, the building has been open for 5-6 months supposedly, but there hasn't been one single resident moving in. Secondly, it's starting to attract a lot of homeless people because there's no presence of anybody on property, let alone like somebody that's in charge of trespassing them. So the problem keeps going on and it's escalating, and the residents around there are very concerned. So the last part is I've been trying to get in touch with somebody. I've been given a number that's been disconnected. I've called DCCA for contact number, and they said they can't give it to me. And, I've tried a number of people and agencies and no luck. So I'm just wondering if you could help us get in touch with somebody and give us an update on what's happening with that building.
Yeah, I can work on that. Can I get you to message me sorry, this is not my neighborhood board. Chair, can you give me his email address so that we can follow up on this?
Sure. We can get you Chuck's email address. Oh, I believe Curtis might be linking it in the chat now.
Okay, thanks so much.
Okay, Adam?
Yes, a quick question. We are also working in our park, in the Makiki Park. We're also working on having a dog park added to our area, which would require fencing for, leashless dogs. My question is there a way that we could piggyback the permission or the release of funding for the fencing for the garden to also include the dog park? I think that if we added this on there, it might actually save the city money in that it would all be on the same invoice. That's my
Are
question.
you talking about a dog park, the dog park at at next to the district park or in the district park?
I mean, if we can include that as well, but if we have the same invoice, including the dog park in Makiki, which is something that we wanted to as well add a dog park in Makiki, as well as the fencing around the garden and the fencing around the corner of Pensacola, or I'm sorry, Wilder and Punahou. If we added all those three together, I'm sure a company would be more enthusiastic to give us a price that's lower because it included three different projects. Is that a possibility?
I can take that up with DDC and let you guys know. I don't know whether or not that's a possibility to bid it out as one project. That's
I mean, I
yeah,
just
I
think it
guess
would,
that'd be
I just think it would be faster, and it would also, I'm pretty sure a company would bring down the price if it included three projects in one.
I can approach DDC with that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Adam. I just because the dog park in Punahou Square was brought up, quick update on that. We have our fencing up. It's really tiny, and I know folks are already unhappy about it. So just wanted to give you a heads up, Heath, that we'll probably be talking about that, complaining about that dog park in the future.
Okay, noted.
Arthur.
Tyler, I have a question, two questions actually. The first is, for a decade, I'm advised the intersection of Ward and Lunalito has been on the table with Department of Transportation, and now they're moving it to April next year. Why is this 10 years, a decade that we're still working on it and nothing done? And the other thing I'd like to have the councilman work on is permitting. We keep getting news, permitting is up to date, it's up to date, and yet we get news in the paper that it's not, and there's excuses upon excuses. I'd like to find out where we spend all of our money on this new program and permitting. So if councilman would get digging into these two things, I'd appreciate it.
I can take that back to him.
And then a quick note on that, Arthur. They did, or the note here at least is pushing off responsibility to Hawaii State Department of Transportation. So we'll be coming up on our elected state officials imminently. So we'll bring it up with them. Yes.
The Pensacola and now widening and changing that, like to address that. It's also pushed off to April next year.
No, yeah, you are correct. Thank you. Okay, are there any further questions? Richard.
Yeah, first of all, thank you that that money's been released for the fencing at the Makiki Gardens. So how long might it take before those things get put up? Are we talking like 6 months to a year? Did we lose that connection?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
yes.
Sorry. The money was just released on the 15th. I don't have a timeline on the project completion, but I can get back to you guys with that.
Okay, thank you very much. Seeing no further questions, thank you very much, Heath. And we'll move on to Councilmember Tyler DeSantos Tam.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so I shared a little bit in the chat. Thank you for everyone messaging. So there was a little fire ant survey on September 6th in the Kalawahine neighborhood in Papakolea. I put a website in there it's specific to different areas, and there is area specific to Makiki. So you can see where different sites of little fire ants are located. So that's relevant to members in the community. Megan Johnson, I know Deputy Director Johnson mentioned in her report from the mayor's office. Robert Peters, member, asked about the left turn hand signal on Lilo and Ward, and that's HDOT, so that was helpful. We submitted a riser, but of course, sometimes the mayor's office gets a response a little bit faster. So I'm glad that response came in and it was provided to the neighborhood board. I see that Senator Fukunaga is there, and I know there's been some questions on the Punchbowl situation and the homeless situation with the fire. So maybe she'll have an update with that. I do not. Lynn Robinson, she wasn't able to get a hold of Director Lambert for an update, but maybe the senator has a little bit of update on that. And my council member has some knowledge of the Pence Metro project. So I'm gonna take some information back with me, and maybe I can work with Heath to see, maybe we can collaborate on that to see what answers can be done with that. So that's my report. I'm here for any questions. Thank you so much. Thanks, Heath. Bye.
Thank you very much, Robin. Are there any questions from the board for Robin? Seeing none, are there any questions from attendees? Seeing none, thank you very much, Robin.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, and then next up on the agenda, we have community concerns from residents, limited to 2 minutes each. Residents, not board members, can share comments and concerns that are not listed on the agenda. Per the Sunshine Law, concerns not on the agenda may be presented, but the board cannot take action. Are there any community concerns? Okay, online, Steve Davidson.
Hello, my name's Steve Davidson. I'm representing Mid-Pacific Roadrunner Club, and we're here to let you know that on October 5th, early morning, we will be running our annual Tantalus 10-miler up Tantalus and down Round Top. We do this race every year, and registration is still open if anyone would like to join us. Any questions from anyone about this event?
Okay, we have a question from Linda.
Aloha, I'd like to hear a little bit more about the history, just briefly, like how long have you been doing it?
As long as I can remember, I'm going to say right off, probably 10 years, maybe longer. Longer.
Yeah, Steelquist says longer. Okay, thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you.
Are there any further community concerns? Seeing none, I'll move on to state official reports, starting with Governor Josh Green's representative. I believe Russell Pang messaged me saying he's not able to make it. So if there are any concerns for the governor, be sure to email Russell Pang. Next up, State Senator Carol Fukunaga.
Good evening, board members. Just wanted to report that we had a community forum last month. And the big thing that we really wanted to focus on was the little fire ants infestations in our region. On the report, we show the areas that Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity and the Hawaii Ant Lab are focusing on. And the key thing to remember this year is that if you have your properties, if this is primarily single family properties, if you have an infestation, this year, Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity is able to help cover the cost of treatment. So that's why we really wanted to get the word out. I believe in the Papakolea area. They did do their surveys on the first weekend in September. They will be going back later. But if you look at the second page, the earlier graphic shows that some of the infestations from the Papakolea area are actually also occurring now in Nu'uanu. So, we really want to alert people because we do have assistance that can be offered. And the number of treatments, I think Board Member Salasa conducted his own treatments in the lower Round Top area with his neighbors. And, there's quite a number of treatments that have to be done in order to completely eradicate them. So other than that, I'm happy to take any questions, but we are the number 2 area for little fire ant infestations on Oahu. So we are really gung-ho in looking for ways that we can kind of let people know about what's available and to encourage people to participate.
Okay, thank you very much, Senator. Arthur.
Senator, is anything being done by the Department of Agriculture to educate the different companies that provide dirt and soil and plants into an area to make sure it's fumigated and eradicated of any of these red ants?
I guess these types of ants are not so much found within, a lot of the soil or other kinds of preparations. However, if you purchase or you bring plants onto your property, that you're not sure of, one of the instructions that the Ant Lab people usually provide when we do these community education forums is that they'll say, please segregate your, these plants, do a little survey and test before you integrate them into your property. I think the key thing though for this year's effort is that Department of Agriculture did spend time educating and training a lot of the landscape companies that operate in and around many, older neighborhoods where they contract with the homeowners to do their yards. And they are also among those who are going out and providing the treatment. So they spent about 15 months really working hard since last year to get people trained and really in a much better position to be able to tackle this.
Okay, and I know it was Arthur's issue earlier as well, but I hope you noted down the issue with HDOT, Department of Transportation, the intersection of Lulililo and Ward.
Okay, well, we will also join in from the state side, and I know that that's a very heavily traveled intersection. It is pretty dangerous, as are many of the intersections in Makiki. With a lot of the traffic that we now have going through, you really have to be very, very careful whenever you cross the street.
Okay, I'll recognize John real quick, and then Adam. John.
Does anybody know what happened to the large fire ants? Have they been eradicated? They're still around.
No, these are the really
I
tiny
know.
fire
What,
ants.
what about the big ones? Where are they?
Those are not really the
Well, they were in Eva Beach 10 years ago. They all gone?
I guess so. The ones we have now are very tiny.
Okay.
Thank you, John. Adam.
Yes. So yeah, the intersection is really important in that I think a lot of people try to skip traffic by going through Manoa and through, I'm not sorry, not Manoa, but Makiki and over the hills through our area. And so, we've been fighting this for a long time. It's really important that this becomes a focus. And I appreciate the ants being, brought to our attention. But accidents are super important as well. And I think we should really focus on that. The other question I have is, with the ants here, I see on the flyer an email address, but is there a phone number or someone we can call?
If you go to that email address, you can get the phone numbers. I didn't want to put too much detail in it because it's easier if people click on the link. But the key elements that we wanted to share with everyone is Little fire ants can multiply very, very rapidly. They're unlike other kinds of invasive species in that you may have millions of ants within, a 5,000, 7,000 square foot property. And because of their very tiny size, they're easily transported, by wind or other kinds of conditions. So that's pretty much the key thing that we're dealing with here.
Okay, thank you for that.
Robert.
Carol, over here, right
Oh,
behind
okay.
both. I live at the corner of Lunalilo and Ward. Traffic comes down 40 plus miles an hour from the top. And there's at the intersection, there's only one striped lane, but they make two out of it. And anyone on the inside lane, sometimes they try to come out to go turn onto the freeway. That's where the accident occurred. It's just a mess. I just thought of something. Why can't we have some speed bumps there temporarily? That'll stop the speeding. I'm sure it'll eliminate a lot of the possibilities of the accidents because of just the sheer speed that they come down. Speed bumps. Please consider that.
Well, I know it's a very heavily trafficked corridor, and especially in morning rush hour or afternoon rush hour traffic. Morning, okay, that area is quite dangerous. So if we can get some stats from HPD, I'm happy to follow up with Department of Transportation and DTS. I think this is more a DOT issue because it's right next to the freeway. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Robert. Are there any further questions? Seeing none, thank you very much, Senator.
Thank you so much.
Next up, we have Rep. Della Obalati. Okay, seeing none. Next up, State Rep. Kim Koko Iwamoto. Kate. Oh, you're muted.
Hi, sorry. I just put in the chat the link to subscribe to Rep Iwamoto's monthly newsletter. Last night, my boss, Representative Iwamoto, along with Representative Della Albaladi's office, held a legislators listen event at McKinley High School. It was lovely. We had a lot of fun. And finally, our office is beginning to draft bills. To our understanding, most rep offices are only allowed to draft 10 this year. So if you have any ideas for bills, please shoot them over to us. I will put our email in the chat right now.
Thank you very much, Kate. Are there any questions from board members? Are there any questions from attendees? Seeing none, thank you very much, Kate. Next up, we have State Representative Ikaika Olds.
Hey, good evening, everybody. State Rep Ikaika Old, House District 23. Not much to share. We had our lawmakers listen on September 2nd. It was really nice to get in touch with the community. For those who haven't submitted their survey, please get them turned in, and I'm here to take any questions.
Are there any questions? Oh, thank you, Rep Olds. Are there any questions for Ikaika from board members? Seeing none, are there any questions from attendees? Seeing none, thank you very much, Ikaika.
Thank you.
Next up, we have State Rep Andrew Garrett.
All right, good evening, Chair and board members. Chair, I got to say I'm a little disappointed. I really liked the Fu Manchu you were rocking at last month's meeting. Not sure what compelled you to shave for this meeting, but you look good either way. Not a whole lot to report this month. Just wanted to invite the community to attend the disaster preparedness fair that's happening at Manuel Marketplace this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We had the tsunami scare a few months ago, and I think one of the lessons learned was the importance of vertical evacuation, especially in high condo areas like Makiki. And this is a chance to learn from city and county, state, federal partners on what you can do to prepare for the next disaster. It's sponsored by Alexander and Baldwin, Bank of Hawaii, City Mill. This is a very popular event in the district, and just encourage everyone to just stop by, even if it's for 15-20 minutes. I can guarantee you'll learn something new at this event. So with that, I'll just stop and see if there are any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrew. First up, we got Chuck.
Hi, Rep Garrett. I just wanted to know, I know you're in charge of the education committee or department, right? For the city. I was wondering if you could give us any updates on anything happening with education, what you plan to do in the next session.
Yeah, thank you, Member Lee, for the question. So I'm the chair of the House Higher Education Committee. So looking at post-secondary institutions. So with regard to UH, it's a really scary time because we're seeing a lot of funding cuts happening. This current administration has really been targeting DEI programs, that's diversity, equity, and inclusion. Just the other day, the Federal Department of Education announced about $350 million in cuts. We're not really sure how much of that's going to impact the university system itself. But higher education is definitely under attack right now. This is on the heels of a lot of cuts to scientific grants. I think we talked about that a month or two ago. So it's a really difficult time, but we're committed to education here in the state, and we're going to try to figure out what the extent of the cuts are going to be. We're not quite sure what the bottom is just yet, but please know that, yeah, we are keeping this top of mind to make sure that we keep up with our investments in higher education.
Thank you. Okay. Next up, Arthur.
Yes, Representative, I have two things I want to ask you. We've been talking for 10 years about the intersection of Lunalilo and Ward. It's been kicked on and it's now a state issue. Can you help us with the Department of Transportation to get some action to address the safety hazard that exists at that intersection? As I said, and I'll repeat, it's been over 10 years, action has been requested and nothing done. So I would appreciate your help there. The other thing I'm concerned about, you spoke of Department of, we spent several $1 million 2 years ago to air condition what was going to be quite a few number of schools, only to find out we wanted to go high end, which is broken down now, and we're looking to repair it. Is there any way that you can put some effort behind putting portable units in there that are not costing $1 million per unit and $1 million to repair it every 2 years? I think we've been wasting money along the way, and I think it needs to be addressed. Our poor students are wilting, and they cannot study if they're wilting. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for those two comments. Yeah, I'm happy to work with the area legislator. I'm not exactly sure whose district that particular intersection of Lunalilo and Ward is, but I'm happy to work with them. And yeah, I was disappointed when I read that story about the audit regarding the $100 million that was set aside for this kind of high-end solar-based air conditioning system. But please know that, yeah, we're keeping our eyes on this and making sure the department makes sure that workable AC units are in these classrooms that need it most.
I'll start with Adam and then go to Robert. Adam.
Piggybacking on the concern for education, I was reading an article about the administration's education administration in Honolulu and Hawaii in general getting pay increases, where I know for many other educators that I know aren't getting the funding that they need, the proper pay that they need in order to survive here in Honolulu. So I would like to see if maybe there could be attention brought to the teachers and educators that actually work with our children, and not just the administration that directs them. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I saw the story too about a potential increase in pay for the superintendent and the deputy soups and assistant soups. And yeah, the salaries are quite high. And I believe the teacher's contract is coming up next year. But the governor's office leads the negotiations on that, and we do our part to fund any agreements that they reach. But I agree with you 100%. Teachers are definitely underpaid here. We need to do better.
Yeah, I have a family member who was an educator in Chicago, moved here, and her pay was cut in thirds to work here. Not in half, but actually cut a third of the budget. a third of her income to live in a place that lives, cost of living is triple what she needed to survive. So we need educators, it would make sense that we would not, raise the, cost of administrative jurisdiction, but the educators themselves. Thank you.
Yep, very well said. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Robert.
Thank you. I'm a substitute teacher at the DOE Honolulu District. And certain situations, it is so hot and warm. And I always ask the principal, can I take my class out to a shaded area? I do that continually just to be comfortable and have effective teaching. In fact, I have a little portfolio with a fan that I bring wherever I go. I plug it in, at least as I sit at the desk. My upper torso is air conditioned or cooled. It's abominable in many situations.
Thank you for the comment, and yeah, thank you for your services giving back as a substitute teacher.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, seeing no further questions. Thank you very much, Rep. Andrew Garrett.
Thank you.
Okay, so I believe we have Della Vladi here, so we'll circle back to her. Rep. Della. I believe you might be muted.
How does
I
that
believe-
sound?
There we go. Perfect.
Thank you, Chair. My apologies. My apologies for coming in late. Thank you for having me here. I don't have any formal reports. I'm available here to answer any questions. One thing I will say is that we have been notified that we are not going to be having a special session in the September, October block of dates, but we continue to look towards November. We do have that November week still blocked off. My position has been, and I've been working pretty much nonstop since Sine Die to continue to monitor what's happening at the federal level. I believe that we should go into special session to address some of the civil rights issues that are burning and are emerging, as well as some other issues that we should take up in the special session. So I'm available to answer any questions, and we'll do so, Chair.
Okay. Thank you very much, Della. And then is it possible if you, I know I don't want to spend too much time on it because we've harangued it pretty good, but earlier it was brought to our attention that the intersection of Luna Lilo and Ward is Hawaii Department of Transportation's jurisdiction. Would it be possible for you to squeeze them a little and get them to show up to next week's special meeting, or our special meeting next week?
Sure, I can certainly put in the request with Department of Transportation.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Are there any further questions? Arthur?
Yeah, I just want to present the same question that I did earlier. Is the air conditioning in our public school system, we spent millions of dollars on, and we still are not cooling, not even half of them, and the ones that are installed weren't working, we're led to believe, and it's going to cost millions to repair. Can you work with the DOE and see if we can get portable air conditioners into the classroom so the kids can study and not be put out by the heat? Thank you.
Absolutely. I think it's egregious that many of the fixes that we had hoped would come through were not implemented properly. I do know that there has been challenges for many of the schools in our district. We've had some of our schools go through whole school renovations, so there's better ACs in some of our schools. I will say that in McKinley, at McKinley High School, I know that there remain buildings that have been difficult to rewire. So even in some of our best urban Honolulu schools, we're faced with situations where the children are not in the best learning conditions. So yes, certainly, Board Member Eberhardt, certainly we can follow up on that.
Okay. Are there any, seeing no further questions from board members, are there any questions from attendees? Seeing none, thank you very much, Della. Moving on to board business and presentations. So first up, we have approval of written summary for video record, Thursday, August 21st, 2025. Are there any corrections? Okay, we have a motion to accept from Nakamoto. Seconded by Arthur. Are there any objections or abstentions from accepting the record? Seeing none, we have our minutes. Next up, we have the pesticides presentation by Rep. Amy Prusso's office.
Aloha, Chair. Yvonne here.
Hello.
Thanks so much for having us. I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a second. Okay, can you folks see that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So aloha everyone, aloha community. My name is Yvonne Yor. I work for Representative Amy Peruso. However, I'm just filling in for our interns who are actually with the Climate Future Forum. They're part of our civics boot camp in our office. So I just thank you for allowing us this time to share about our pesticide education campaign. Okay, let's get started. I'll try to go through this a little quickly because at the end, I want to share a little bit about our resolution that we've been asking each of the boards across Oahu to take action on. So what are pesticides? Pesticides are substances that are designed to kill or deter pests, including insects, weeds, fungi, and rodents. They can be chemical or synthetic or biological. Pesticides have been shown to cause cancers, disrupt hormones, harm reproductive health, harm our nervous system, cause kidney and liver problems. They also have environmental impacts and are known to reduce the microbial life in soil, making soil less effective in sequestering carbon and retaining water. So now that we have that baseline, I want to share a little bit more about restricted use pesticides, which are pesticides that are not available for purchase or use by the general public due to the potential for causing unreasonable adverse effects in the environment or human health. So with the help of community advocates, mainly those working with the nonprofit organization known as HAPA, the Hawaii Alliance for Progressive Action, the state legislature passed Act 45 in 2018 and enacted in 2019. So Act 45 established a buffer zone, a 100-foot buffer zone around schools, stating that no person shall apply a restricted use pesticide on or within 100 feet of the school property during normal school hours. They are also required to report to the Hawaii Department of Ag annually. And I'll go through what that reporting process looks like, or what their form looks like later on. So some examples of restricted use pesticides that are being sprayed include 1,3-dichloropropene, which is used to control nematodes and other soil-borne pests, including fungi and insects, as well as metam sodium, which is also a soil fumigant used primarily in agriculture to control soil-borne pests like fungi, nematodes, weed seeds, and insects. With metam sodium, that pesticide is highly prone to drift and could travel up to and over a mile away from where it's being sprayed. So much larger than that 100-foot buffer zone that Act 45 created. So with Act 45, were some exemptions. However, there were general exemptions for the pesticides, for other pesticides such as neonicotinoids, which are among the most widely used insecticides worldwide. Neonicotinoids act on the nervous system of insects with very low toxicity to mammals and minimal environmental impact, and therefore are considered a reduced risk pesticide. There are also exemptions to reporting made at the federal level to research. So under FIFRA, the Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, Rodenticide Act, the type of registration is through experimental use permits, which allows manufacturers to field test pesticides under development. So why am I saying all of this? What I'm sharing is that Act 45 is not enough. It's a good start, but it's insufficient. As I shared earlier, pesticides such as metam sodium have a high drift rate, like greater than 100 feet. So the current buffer zone is insufficient for even just that one pesticide that's being used. And what we're asking for and what we're hoping to educate the public on is there's educating the public on what's the current situation across the islands and things you can do to help. So this is what this table at the top is what the annual restricted use pesticide reporting form looks like. And highlighted in green are the contents that applicators need to report annually. So that includes the product name, active ingredients and the percentage, total used, and that can be in different measurements, so pounds, ounces, gallons, the area that's treated, the date that it's applied, when it was applied, and the tax map key, so an entire parcel, but not specific locations in that parcel. So if we look at the map on the left side, we'll see that there's more like higher concentrations of pesticides being sprayed in the northern and central Oahu region. There are not a lot of parcels in the southern eastern region. So this map is a closer look at your folks' neighborhood, Makiki, Papakolea, Tantalus area. However, it doesn't mean that other pesticides, even general use pesticides, aren't being sprayed in your community. And we encourage you folks to connect with departments, city and county departments, if you're curious about what kind of pesticides they might be spraying. So like I shared earlier, Act 45 is not enough. And some of the ideas that are floating in our office amongst our interns is that we need a better reporting system to ensure detailed and accurate reporting. We want increased buffer zones, larger fines and punishments for illegal use, classification of neonics as an RUP, mandated soil and water testing, and transparency in labeling. And how you can help. So we are circulating a resolution amongst the boards, and we're hoping that you folks can, at the appropriate time, read the resolution and maybe in a later board meeting, take action on that resolution, sharing your opinion as a community. Share your experience, hold community meetings, and share with family and friends, educate others in your community. And then stand with farmers, support locally owned organic farms, help other farmers transition to organic products. And then here are a few quick links, access to some of the resources that we used for our presentation. And just to share what the resolution looks like, apologies. So I know they shared this with the chair earlier today. So if you want me to share this with the rest of the board members, I can send this as well, but it's a brief resolution, kind of what I shared earlier, and calling on action by the Department of Ag and reporting requirements to be sent to certain agencies. And I will take any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Yvonne. Are there any questions for Yvonne? Seeing none, do we have any interest in taking up her resolution next meeting? Richard.
Yeah, I'd like to take it up next meeting.
Okay, thank you very much, Richard. Adam.
Yeah, just a quick question. How do you know how well these are filtered through our industrial water supply filtration systems? How much of it goes into our drinking water and et cetera after being put into our soil?
No, thank you for the question. I don't have that data collected, but I'm happy to work. Our office is happy to work with the Department of Ag that collects all of this information, and appropriate departments that can test soil contaminants and like stream contamination or do water testing.
Yeah, I think that would be important. I think that would just be important in considering further, processes to fix this situation.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you very much, Adam. Okay, so I suppose we will be putting this on next month's agenda, Yvonne. So hopefully we'll see you or someone else in the office show up next month.
I will do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have the Walk, Bike, Drive presentation by the Hawaii Bicycle League.
Evening, everybody. As we're getting this video on the screen, I just would like you to know that Meals on Wheels, UPS has shown our presentation to 155 of their drivers. And I have been to nearly, well, as many neighborhood boards that would have me. And sometimes I go to 2 different ones a night, like last night. Here we go. There is sound.
Hawaii Bicycling League's Walk, Bike, Drive presentation encourages road users to drive with aloha. The Walk, Bike, Drive program is funded by an HDOT grant to highlight the importance of pedestrian and bicycle safety on Hawaii's roads. Whether we walk, bike, or drive, safety is everyone's responsibility. The Vulnerable Road Users Law is part of a broader effort to enhance safety on Hawaii's roadways by addressing the risks faced by those traveling outside of motorized vehicles, such as pedestrians and cyclists. So far in 2025, the entire state has more than doubled its traffic fatalities over 2024. The average number of traffic deaths from 2014 through 2024 included 28 pedestrians, nearly 28 motorcycles and mopeds, 4 bicycles, and nearly 44 motor vehicles. Whether on foot, on a bike, or in a vehicle, commuters are a traveling ohana. We recognize license plates, stickers, and company logos. We merge with a wave, or better yet, a shaka. And when there is a crash, we learn just how close we are to each other. Here are a few things to keep in mind when sharing the road with cyclists. Respect the green bike boxes that gives bicyclists a head start on a narrow section to reach the bike lane. Remember, when in a crash, the cyclist will always be more vulnerable no matter who was right legally. When passing, allow for 3 feet between your vehicle and a cyclist, even if it means waiting a few seconds to do it safely. Share when you see sharrows, which are placed where cyclists cannot safely drive on the shoulder of the road. What are cyclists telling you? Understand the road signals used by cyclists. Left arm pointed down or right arm behind back means the cyclist is stopping. Left arm outstretched means the cyclist needs to switch to the left lane or to make a left turn. Left arm pointed up or right arm outstretched indicates the cyclist is making a right turn. At a recent NOAA Hurricane Awareness meeting, HBL Executive Director Travis Council provided another reason bicycles make sense. During and following an emergency weather event, a human-powered bicycle is most reliable, especially if power outages persist, the internet is down, and roads are blocked to motor vehicles. Everyone has the right to be safe on Hawaii's roads. This precept in Hawaiian law originated with King Kamehameha I in 1797. The law was added to the state constitution in 1978. Please, kokua, make the right decisions. Driving with aloha means everyone has a great day. Please send your comments or questions to Walk, Bike, Drive Coordinator Paula Bender at paula@hbl.org. Mahalo.
So what we want to drive home is the Vulnerable Users Law. That is everybody who is pedaling, walking on an e-bike, on a scooter, electric scooter, and a motorcycle, And everybody who's surrounded by steel and behind the wheel are not considered vulnerable users. I don't know about Jeeps, but anyway, when I was asked to be this coordinator, it was to develop a culture of friendliness and kindness amongst road users, bicyclists, pedestrians, and drivers. And seems kind of simple, but there's so much more to the mix now. There are e-bikes and there are tricks that people do on the e-bikes that put everybody at risk. And I would imagine if you're driving when someone is popping a wheelie on their e-bike or their moped, motor scooter, you might be feeling vulnerable yourself. However, if there is something that goes on, if you collide with them, they fall in front of you, they're the vulnerable user and you are not. So do your best to protect yourself, to stay calm behind the wheel, to give these kids their space that they need. And as a cyclist, I would like to say that I am grateful for the drivers that I encounter. I ride my bike for exercise probably every other day, and I live out in East Oahu. I feel like I've developed a relationship with drivers out there. I just think that eye contact and giving a shaka when you're given a break, and I also wear a mirror, so that's very handy. I can see what's going on behind me, so I don't pull out in front of a car, right? If I have to go around the mail truck. So that's my presentation. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much. Paula, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Paula. And we'll start with Arthur.
Mine is more of a safety issue. It's quite clear that a bicycle is supposed to have a light on at night and a headlight also. Over more than 50% what I encounter on King Street, none of them have a light in the back or in the front. Same way with mopeds nowadays. We've just recently had several mopeds that have been broadsided from the rear because, number one, half of them don't have a light on the back, or if it's there, it's so dim, you can't see it. So what role are you as a bicycling organization taking to educate bikers as you encounter them on the road to get the safety equipment so they don't get into an accident with a car?
There is a lot of educational videos on HBL. They do a lot of outreach. They do a lot of lobbying with the legislature. They work with HPD. They work on complete streets and OHMP, Oahu HMP. But the thing is, yes, I know that I need to have these things on my bicycle, but not everybody will have it. In fact, if you're riding during the day, a reflector in the back is all you need. I just feel like it's self-preservation. Like I said, you can't bring, HBL does all it can to reach out, but whether the message is being received is another thing. I'm sorry, Arthur. I understand. I understand.
A police person or a bicycle.
Yeah. I think that HPD should be enforcing that. Many years ago, when I first got here in 1981, I was riding my bike in Waikiki and I didn't have a light. They made me get off the bike and I had to walk all the way to home to Kapahulu. But that was my story. I've always had lights ever since. Thank you.
Thank you, Arthur. Are there any further questions? Richard.
Paula, thank you for your presentation. And it's about all of us walking, biking, driving, to be careful and have a aloha for each other. And it's not easy. Our roads are so crowded. But this doubling of fatalities, and here we are, we still got another 3 months to go. Yeah, I wish I had an answer. We all have to be careful.
Yeah, we all just have to relax, find our zen behind the wheel. And if the person who's going crazy behind you, just let them go around you.
Thank you so very much for having me. I have 3 more neighborhood boards to go, and then I'll be done. By the end of September, I was supposed to present this and reach at least 300 people, and over 400 now, so I'm very happy about that. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, next up we have adopting a resolution urging the Department of Parks and Rec to prioritize and expedite the Makiki Community Garden Fence project. Yes.
Hi, so thank you for taking the time to look at this resolution. But I wanted to get y'all's point of, is it redundant now? Because this resolution was brought to the table at the last neighborhood board meeting by myself. And I had a great conversation with Councilmember Nishimoto's office. They said, you know, we had a great conversation. You know, the communication is there. So I kind of want to just get y'all's input. Is it redundant to be too pushy on this? So I'm happy to move forward with the resolution, but up to you guys.
Okay, that's my apologies. I believe I believe I forgot to forward this resolution to Curtis. So we didn't have it on the drive tonight. But let me pull it up very quick. Okay, so really briefly, it is, as I stated, the resolution urging this Department of Parks and Rec to prioritize and expedite the Makiki Community Garden Fence project. Whereas the Makiki Community Garden is a vital community resource that provides residents with opportunities for sustainable food forgive me, point of procedural order. Do we have a motion to adopt the resolution? I motion to adopt the resolution. Okay. So still quick seconds. Okay. Discussion. All right. No, sorry. Going back into it. So, whereas the Makiki Community Garden is a vital community resource that provides residents with opportunities for sustainable food production, environmental education, and neighborhood engagement, and whereas the Honolulu City Council appropriated $250,000 in the fiscal year 2026 capital improvement budget for planning, design, construction, inspection, and related equipment for the installation of security fencing around the Makiki Community Garden. And whereas the community garden currently faces security and safety concerns due to inadequate fencing, including risks of trespassing, theft, vandalism, and non-compliance with updated community garden rules adopted by the Department of Parks and Recreation in May 2025. And whereas timely implementation of this project will protect the city's investment, ensure compliance with garden regulations, and support the continued health and safety of community gardens. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Neighborhood Board 10 urges the Department of Parks and Recreation to prioritize and expedite the implementation of the Makiki Community Garden Fence project funded in the fiscal year 2026 capital improvement budget. And be it further resolved, the copies of this resolution be transmitted to the mayor, director of Parks and Rec, the director of Department of Budget and Fiscal Services, and the Honolulu City Council member representing District 6. So that would be Scott Nishimoto. Oh, sorry, 5. There should be 5. Yeah, 5 and 6. So I guess we already have an amendment to change the last little bit from City Council member representing District 6 to 5 and 6. Okay, so we have the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Adam Kirchman. Discussion on sending it to more City Council members that represent us? Tom.
Thank you, Chair. Tom Heinrich, speaking in my individual capacity. First, to answer Amanda's question, and welcome to the board. Appreciate your willingness to serve on that side of the table. There are, to answer your question, no, it is not redundant at all. This is another opportunity to add a few other points and ring that bell and have this, if the board goes along with adopting the resolution, on the record and in continued strong support of this. I do have a couple of quick suggestions. The first is to make sure that in the reso that the full cite to ordinance 25-039 at page 32 is given. So that is immediately for reference within the text of the resolution. Secondly, that, as we were very pleased to hear earlier this evening, is that what also needs to be added and wordsmithed appropriately in there is to acknowledge that the Mayor Blangiardi has informed the community or this board that the money has been released as of September 15, 2025. And lastly, to also wordsmith a little bit in there that the Makiki Community Garden, organized in 1974, is the first community garden. And as I saw Adam over the weekend, bottom line is there was just held the Department of Parks and Recreation's Honolulu Community Garden 50th anniversary event at Foster Botanical Garden this past weekend. Those couple of additional facts should be there, ring those bells appropriately. But at this point, it's a matter of saying, thanks very much for releasing the money. But we do want to make sure that this does remain top of mind. Keep in mind that it is probably not going to get done within the next 12 months. There's a lot of other things going on, but most importantly, that process to fully encumber the funds so that the money remains available has already been initiated by the mayor. So that in and of itself was the biggest step that we were informed tonight. But if you wordsmith for those couple of other things, you can either pass this tonight or wordsmith it, come up with the opportunity at next meeting for everybody to look at it and see it, whatever. But I would certainly recommend that those additional points be added to the resume. There's no rush now, but you do want to make that acknowledgement of thank you. Thank you for the release of the money already, because that happened very early in this process. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tom, as always. Okay, so we're in the motion to amend, at the very least, to add on City Council Member Scott Nishimoto. Do we have anyone opposed or abstaining to adding him to the resolution? Seeing none, we have our first amendment. It looks like there are a number of proposed, or perhaps we might need to take it back and amend it further. So as the one who initially put the resolution forward, you're happy to take it back and work on it a little bit further and bring it to next meeting. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next item then. Discussion on updates to radioactive material at Makiki District Park. Are there any updates? I don't believe there are actually any, other than we still have the report from 50 years ago that supposedly it is safe. Yes, Amanda.
So I was interested in this just because of, being involved with the community garden. We looked at this a couple years ago also. I read the report full top down, looked at the back, whole 9 yards. So the report that they're talking about was done in the 80s based off of verbal quotes from the workers that did the testing in the 70s and who originally buried 5 CCM 137 pits. It was buried along those EPA regulations, but that was the 70s. The EPA was started in 72, I think. But in the report that they're stating, they only checked 4 of the 5 pits. 4 pits over by the tennis court area, which is underneath, which at that time was done properly. And the reason that they ran this report, was because they were breaking ground lower than 3 feet for a sewer pipe connecting where the tennis courts are, all the way across the park, underneath the community garden area to the park bathrooms. They never checked the largest pit, and that's in the report that they quoted. They didn't check the largest pit, which is in, I don't know which way I'm facing right now, but the big open space field between the community garden and here. Granted, it's not being disturbed, so, here nor there. They did find radiation to Malka's side of where the bathrooms are now. It used to be something called the rat house, which is where radioactive material was kept. The reason they used radioactive material, it was fertilizer, so they say, found out, not great for sugarcane, so they scrapped it. But the radioactive material that they found were just in some soil areas. It was heightened, but it wasn't bad enough for anything to happen. It was found because from verbal quotes, they said that they would clean their tools that had radioactive material on it, and instead of going in the drains, they would throw it out the front door, which matches the mapping of where the old building used to be and where the pits now are. So not only did they have verbal confirmation of the workers that did that, they also had the science and the chemical and the radiation reports for that. That caused a worry for the community garden because cesium-137 does travel via water. There's a lot of water runoff with where the rat house used to be, which is now the restroom place, which how it's cleaned is they just hose it down and let the water run off. And unfortunately, the community garden is lower. So we're keeping an eye on that. What I did to follow up is I made a request with the National Radiation Committee, which is who did the report in the 80s. I haven't heard anything back, but I will be following up on this because I did my research and there is basically what the outcome possibility of this is. What needs to be done? Is this being maintained? Who's watching this? Long story short, there's no federal or state laws on how it should be maintained, not because it shouldn't be maintained, but because each situation is unique. And that's what is recommended by the National Radiation Committee. Our problem is the state does not have any written like mitigation or monitoring laws. So I haven't heard back from the National Radiation Center. I'll be happy to reach out to Department of Health, which has the radiation area. I just haven't done that yet. But I do know for an absolute fact in that report, the fifth and the largest pit of cesium-137 has not been checked for leaking. It wasn't checked in the 80s and it has not been checked since. And that's the one closest to this building, closest to the basement, closest to the pool, and closest to the playground and the community garden. So I think it's necessary to continue to work towards this. And I'd be happy to take that on.
Thank you very much, Amanda. I still see Della on. Della, would you be able to, I don't know which department you ought to, or needs to be talked to about this.
I think we could certainly look into Department of Health, their solid waste branch, but I would also, because it's county land, can I ask the person who is reading the report, was the report done by the county?
Ooh, from my understanding, it was in collaboration with the state because I believe it was still state land at that time. But the report was the report that the mayor's office had quoted in August neighborhood board meeting, which I can absolutely connect with you about
Yeah,
this. Just
I would appreciate seeing the report and then maybe we can kind of work from there because I think this would kind of be a joint county state concern.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that was our newest board member, Amanda Kirby.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yes, Richard.
Amanda, what was that cesium-137?
It was cesium-137. I believe the half-life is 80 years. So long story short is about 40 years after its creation, it seems to get lesser and lesser. So it isn't a massive health concern, but I think being in a neighborhood park, you know, it's 2025. We have phenomenal technology now that we did not have in the 70s. It can absolutely be mitigated and be more proactive because, you know, we're still in that lifetime. But it was cesium-137. It was used as a fertilizer at the sugarcane facility here. It does make things grow better that they saw, but I think the cons outweighed the pros at that time, and that's why they stopped with it. But there's 5 pits, 4 small ones underneath the tennis courts, and then 1 large one. And they state as long as it's undisturbed, not a problem. But these were concrete pits in the 70s. So I think monitoring would be at least a very minimal request that should be met.
Okay. That's a lot to digest. I hope we get no, that's Adam.
Speaking of lot to digest, this is a garden, community garden. Do you have information or could you share information about the medical concerns that this could cause to the community at large? I would think that the city and the state would be concerned about the amount of money that this would cost if, for say, somebody were to get sick and this would be linked to our gardens, especially since they haven't investigated it since, about 50 years from now. And then when asked to do so, they dismissed it. And said that they did it 50 years ago and that should be sufficient. Thank you.
I think health concerns with my basic knowledge when I looked at this report would be like stomach problems and stuff. But as mentioned prior, the Makiki Community Garden was the first garden originated in 1975. So, and we did, I think we had one last original gardener pass away a few years ago of old age. So I think if there was radiation where it affected health to that extent, it would have unfortunately been seen already in the community garden program. I think for our worry for the community garden is, we always wanted to expand. We always got told no, and we were like, there's this massive field. It's not being used. Why is it not being used? We did some digging, and some of our older gardeners are like, it's because there's radiation over there. We're like, oh, you're crazy. So there was, but we don't know why. That's why there was never expansion, but that's what kind of ticked the box from my basic knowledge. Health is not like the worst possible thing with cesium. The workers, from my understanding, during that time did not have any adverse health, and cesium-137 was, and I think is used globally as a fertilizer in other countries. It's more so just kind of keeping an eye on it so it doesn't get worse. And radiation, that's one thing that I think this generation is still learning a lot about. So I think monitoring, cool. Should it be dug up? Probably not. It's already past the half-life, but like I said, monitoring, I think it's dangerous not knowing what you don't know. So.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll have new information on that next meeting. We'll go ahead and move on to the motion requesting a second right-hand turn lane that is also through in from Kinao Street onto Pensacola Street. Arthur, we are starting to run out of time. This is on the agenda for the special meeting, and we do have a number of DTS people showing up for that. Would you like to continue with this? I would like to continue with some of the rest of the agenda. Okay. All right, so we'll save that for the special meeting. Thank you very much, Arthur. Okay, moving ahead with establishing a Walk the District Permitted Interaction Group. So the idea for this is hopefully we can, I'd like to establish a PIG to get some interested folks together and walk our district and see some of these places that we're always talking about. I believe I can just form the PIG and then we have to approve members. Yep. So, okay, I'll, who is interested in being a member of this PIG? So Amanda Kirby, Jean VA.
What is PIG?
Permitted Interaction Group. So basically, we have procedurally, we hold a meeting to form the group. We can then have as many meetings as we like, I believe unnoticed. Anyone can attend. No. Yeah, anyone can attend, except only the board members who are on the PIG can meet. 8 or less board members. So we get together, have as many meetings, and then we need to generate a report. We present that report during a regular board meeting. The board has a chance to look at it, and then the next meeting after that, the board then approves or disapproves of the report. So really, this is a chance to get together with 8 or less board members who are interested in seeing what's happening in our community. Okay, so once again, who is interested in being a part of this walking group or walk the district PIG? Okay, so let's see here. So Amanda, Joan VA, forgive me, I am blanking on your name. Kimberly, Linda, and Adam, and then myself. So a motion to create a PIG. Oh, and Bronson Online. So a motion to create a PIG with the aforementioned lot of folks for the
Are you counting on?
yeah. Harris, we can't see if your hand is up. Is your hand up? No. Okay. All right. So just us 7. Oh. Sam, your hand is up. You want to join this walking group? Pig? You're muted.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
No. Okay. Okay, so just the 7. So motion to form the PIG with the aforementioned 7 members. We have a second. A second by Janvier. Is there anyone opposed or abstaining from adopting this or forming the Walk the District PIG? Seeing none, we have our Walk the District PIG, and I'll reach out and let you guys know. Okay. Next up, we have Board Community Reports, Nice Neighborhoods Committee. Harris.
Yep, real quick. September 29 is our next meeting, Monday, 2 p.m. So the agenda is included. Got some good topics going on. So if you're interested, then please join us. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Harris? Seeing none, thank you very much, Harris. Next up, we have the Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization with John Steelquist. Do you have anything to report? Okay, I do. We did receive a report that from the planning organization that we unfortunately are, I suppose yourself, has not attended the last, I forgot how many meetings now. Yeah, was marked absent. Are you interested in continuing this, or shall we have? Okay. You're interested in continuing. Please be sure to attend these meetings. If you can't make it, we'll be happy to, nominate and send someone else just in case. Yeah, okay. Okay. So you're gonna go. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Is there anything else? I don't believe there's anything else for the Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization. So, board announcements. The next regular meeting, the Makiki Lower Punchbowl Tantalus Neighborhood Board 10 is scheduled to meet on Thursday, October 16th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at Makiki District Park, the old Makiki Community Library, 2nd floor, and online via WebEx. And then we have our special meeting coming up next week, September 25th at 6 p.m. here again. And that'll be covering, as I said, a number of traffic safety issues. And we do have some DTS folks showing up for that. And then broadcast, social media, and board info. The meetings can be viewed on Olelo Focus 49 on the first Friday at 9 p.m. and third Sunday at 3 p.m. Follow us at www.facebook.com/MakikiNB and visit www.8.honolulu.gov/NCO/NB10 for Makiki Neighborhood Board info. Yeah, I mentioned the special meeting. Oh, sorry. Regarding the special meeting, it is in person only. And then, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I have something along with that. Did I miss it? Did I miss the opportunity to?
Yes. Okay, so yeah, so unfortunately your concern was not on the agenda. So but would you like to add your concern to the agenda? You can motion, yeah, so we can motion to add your concern to the agenda. Yeah, if you could please use the mic. Use the mic. Well, okay.
Just want to read it from statement. It kind of pushes me into this one, you understand where I'm coming from. Thomas Square. Thomas Square. Thomas Square is one of the most historical.
Okay, so first, sorry. So we need you to motion to add. What are you adding? What would you like to add to the agenda?
What I'm about to read.
Okay.
Thomas Square.
What about Thomas Square?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay, what is the topic about Thomas Square? For due to sunshine law, we need to be somewhat specific.
Specific?
Yes. So what is it about Thomas Square that you would like to add?
Admiral Thomas, who by a order of Queen Victoria commissioned him to come to Hawaii, overtake General Admiral Pollitt, who had secured
if you
Hawaii
could
for 6 months.
If you could please summarize your topic to a single sentence.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
And to this date, Thomas has never been recognized. We have King Kamehameha III there. He was simply there. He did nothing. But there's no recognition historically of Admiral Thomas having ever accomplished this tremendous feat. And I want to I have a copy of this to pass out to all of you. I'll come around and give you a copy of it. And what it simply does, I'm asking you next week to put it on the agenda, and I want to see if you want to help be involved with it. And and the public.
So you're motioning to add to the agenda. Yes, this will be for next month, that you would like to see recognition of Admiral Thomas at Thomas Square.
My report to all of you to look, and you'll have all the details.
Oh, no motion is needed. Okay. Yeah. So so I can add this to the next agenda. Because we are basically, unfortunately, out of time, just about out of time, so we won't have too much to be able to discuss this.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yes. Yeah. If you, in the future, if you want to have things added to the agenda, please email me ahead of time. Two weeks ahead of time, I must submit an agenda. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can talk. We can discuss that later and outside of the meeting. Okay. So once again, we are at the motion to adjourn. Arthur motions and Steelquist seconds. Is anyone opposed or abstaining from adjourning? Seeing none, we're adjourning at 8:03.